What if I told you Iran and America were once best friends? Not just friends, they were strategic partners. America built Iran's nuclear program and Iran sold cheap oil to America. And today, missiles, sanctions, proxy wars, the world fears a World War III. So, how did this relationship collapse? And if this war drags on between the US, Iran, and Israel, what happens to oil? What happens to India? What happens to entire global economy? Let's break it down in this episode of the Other Side. After the World War II, America became a superpower. And now it understood that there are two things very critical for global dominance: oil and nuclear power. Iran had what America needed. Under Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, Iran was pro-Western. Iran also holds the third largest proven oil reserves in the world. So during 1950s and 70s, US backed the Shah. American companies started operating in Iran, and Iran was seen as a pillar against Soviet expansion. In fact, under the United States Atoms for Peace program, America helped Iran start its nuclear program. Yes, the same nuclear program that is the root cause of all the sanctions on Iran was started by America. Many Iranians were unhappy. Why? Because the Shah was authoritarian, Western influence was overwhelming, wealth inequality was growing, and secret police called the Savak crushed dissent. In 1979, the Islamic Revolution happened, led by Ruhollah Khomeini. The monarchy fell and Iran became an Islamic republic. America lost its strongest ally in the region overnight. Then came the hostage crisis. Iranian students stormed the US embassy in Tehran. 52 Americans were held hostage for 444 days. Now, from that moment onwards, Iran and US became enemies. Soon after the revolution, Iraq's leader Saddam Hussein invaded Iran. Why? Because he thought Iran was weak post-revolution. He also thought that Shia revolution might spread towards Iraq. He also wanted regional dominance. That war lasted for 8 long years, millions of casualties. Now you see, US didn't invade Iran, but it tilted towards Iraq. US provided key military intelligence and support to Iraq. Why? Because post-revolution, Iran was seen as a bigger threat than Saddam. But history twists again. In 1990, when Saddam occupied Kuwait, US turned on him. Eventually, in 2003, when US invaded Iraq, they captured and killed Saddam Hussein. So you see, in geopolitics, alliances are temporary, interests are permanent. Under different presidents, America signed different deals with Iran. Under Bill Clinton, sanctions tightened. Under Barack Obama, the 2015 Iran nuclear deal was signed, where Iran agreed to limit uranium enrichment in exchange for sanction relief. For a brief moment, tensions eased. Then came Donald Trump. He withdrew from the nuclear deal in 2018. Sanctions returned harder than ever. Iran restarted enrichment, tensions escalated again. Externally, Iran projects defiance, but internally the story is more complex. Sanctions have crippled the economy, the currency has weakened dramatically, youth unemployment is high. Protests have erupted repeatedly, especially over women's rights and political freedom. The state enforces mandatory hijab laws, strict media control, surveillance of dissent, and harsh crackdowns on protest. there is a visible gap between leadership ideology and sections of the public. Now, talking about the present war situation in Iran, the tensions have sharply increased. Israel has intensified its attacks on Iranian linked assets. On Feb 28, the United States and Israel launched joint military attacks on Iran. The operation was called Operation Lion's Roar by Israeli authorities, involving widespread air and missile strikes on Iranian military and nuclear sites. These strikes have targeted hundreds of sites across Iran and are reported to have killed Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei, along with several other top regime figures. Iran's retaliation has extended beyond direct strikes. Missiles and drone launches on Iran causing civilian casualties, attacks on US diplomatic missions and bases across Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. Iran has also reportedly struck oil facilities and infrastructure along with ports in UAE and other Gulf states. In response, Iran has expanded strikes into Lebanon, where Hezbollah, a close Iranian ally, has also fired projectiles across Israel. Explosions have been reported not only in Tehran but in Jerusalem as well. Now, Iran's wildcard is not any missile, it's a narrow stretch of sea called the Strait of Hormuz. Today, the Strait of Hormuz carries around 20% of global oil. Following this outbreak, the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps have already restricted the passage of Hormuz. As of today, 700 ships are still stuck there. If this delays for longer, oil prices will shoot up and the insurance costs will soar high. Now, how is the global economy reacting to the conflict? First, prices of oil have shot up sharply due to increased risk in Strait of Hormuz. Second, higher fuel price feeds into global inflation, which affects transportation and manufacturing. Third, increased uncertainty triggers volatility and risk aversion among investors, which is very evident from the stock markets. And fourth, disrupted shipping lanes adds to delays and increased freight costs worldwide. Now, if we talk about how does this impact India, here are a few pointers for the same. First, India imports over 80% of crude oil. A spike in global oil prices directly hurts the Indian economy and the consumers because of rise in fuel prices and inflation. Second, the Indian rupee faces depreciation pressure as oil import bills surge. Third, India's investment in Chabahar port, which intended to connect India to Central Asia bypassing Pakistan, faces uncertainty. Now, India must walk a diplomatic tightrope, balancing US, Israel, Iran, and other Middle Eastern states. Now, there can be multiple scenarios and predicaments of how this war could end. Scenario 1, shorter conflict, a negotiated pause after heavy retaliation, possibly mediated by UAE, Saudi, and India. Scenario 2, prolonged confrontation. The war goes on for months, involving multiple theaters and millions of civilian casualties. Scenario 3, nuclear breakout. Iran pushes towards deeper enrichment. Potential attacks on the nuclear sites could result in a wider catastrophe. And scenario 4, regime change or power vacuum. Now, with the leadership incapacitated, internal political battles could reshape Iran's future. Now, for any scenario, it will have heavy humanitarian and economic collapse for Iran and the entire Middle Eastern region. What began as a regional conflict over ideology, security, and nuclear ambition resulted into one of the most consequential conflicts of the 21st century. Now, this isn't just about bombs or missiles, it's about oil prices doubling, it's about global inflation surging, it's about key shipping routes shutting down, it's about the economic pain being felt by everyday people from New York to New Delhi. It's about how deeply geopolitics is intertwined with our daily life, and this war is far from over. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you enjoy watching our content, please do subscribe to the channel, because we are going to break down geopolitics and economics in a way that makes sense for all of us. See you in the next one soon. Till then, stay happy, stay diplomatic. This is Dev this side signing off.